I don't wanna say anything, cause if I do, I might say the wrong words. Oh no. So I'll keep my mouth shut and not listen. Afraid I'd lose you if I didn't. Till we find what we're missing and compromise. So I'll keep my shorts on and not leaving. We're on thin ice, winter season. Can we find a single reason not to say goodbye? Oh, if I said what's on my mind, would you stay with me tonight? If I said what's on my mind, would that make you run and hide? Run and hide. Run and hide. If I said what's on my mind, would that make you run and hide?
Everybody out there, all my MDK gang members out there, go check out Cold TV. I checked it out myself. That shit's dope as hell.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to Pro Wrestling 60. I'm Xlj the Og, joined by my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, still coming down from that Royal Rumble hangover, baby. One Mr. B-Roll.
How are we doing out there, world? You couldn't have said it better. Coming down off of that not WrestleMania. Oh my gosh! See,
Practically felt like a WrestleMania, brother.
Yep. I mean, it did. It did. What a time it was. Felt lucky that it was in our own backyard, and fortunate enough to get to go to it. And yeah, it. I mean, I'm gonna stop jibber jabbing because we've got so much to talk about with everything from the Rumble. And then with everything else that happened this week. So I'm not even gonna wait for you to cue me. I'm just gonna go ahead, say the words, and we're gonna get right into it. I'm Mr. B-Roll, he's XLJ. The clock starts now.
And yes, our top story this week is the Royal Rumble taking over Indy. I tell you what, this was our first Royal Rumble live and in person, and it's going to be one for the ages. I think one we're going to be talking about years to come. Maybe the best Royal Rumble of all time. It could be, but I will say this: a lot of takeaways from this weekend. But me personally, my biggest takeaway from this is Indianapolis is ready for WrestleMania. I mean, we went to the 9 welcoming the WWE into our city, unlike any other. We renamed streets, for God's sakes. We had a Yeet Street, of all places. I mean, you can see here at the Indianapolis airport, Indy was ready to rumble, and I think the WWE realized that, and I think we showed the entire world that Indianapolis is a hotbed for professional wrestling. What do you say, B-Roll, about that?
Yeah, I would say, it was, the city really went all in. I mean, shoot, I don't want to spill too many beans, but we even went to a restaurant that had it was Seth, Egg, freaking Rollins
rolls.
And they were these egg roll thing. And just embracing that Royal Rumble was there. And yeah,
awesome. It was awesome. And you can see all the fallout this week here on Cold TV because this is our Royal Rumble week here on Cold TV, kicking on us off tonight on PW60. But the Royal Rumble, of course, 4 matches on the card, but none bigger perhaps than the men's Royal Rumble. And I got to tell you, this Royal Rumble was full of surprises. It's everything you want in a Royal Rumble. And it was a finish that I don't think anybody in the world saw coming, Mr. B-Roll. And we're going to get into that. But, yes, the main event himself, Jey Uso, won the Royal Rumble. That's right. I got to be honest with you, B-Roll. I didn't think I'd be saying those words here on Monday night, but it is true. Oh, so damn true. Jey Uso is the Royal Rumble winner. We were there live. What was your reaction to this? Because, I mean, I was just like, my mind was blown. I was so excited, but I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. So, man, it is hard to put into words. So like once it gets down, when Logan Paul gets eliminated and it gets down to Cena and Jay, like there is the best way I can describe it is there's a buzz over the whole stadium because it's like I really feel like, you know, fans there were cool with whoever was going to win. Like they're like, it's like, oh, thank God.
Because it's still that shock from what Logan Paul did, which we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, either Cena's going to win his last Royal Rumble or it's going to be like this bona fide superstar, like one of the most over guys in the company that like, you feel like, I mean, you just didn't see this. You didn't see this coming. Like, I mean,
I think we felt like it was going to happen at some point, but knowing traditionally how WWE is, they were going to wait again, and almost felt like Jay had maybe been regulated to like a catchphrase or something. But like, this was a career-defining moment for him. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The fact that Jey Uso is the one.
I went into the weekend.
Do what?
But I was going to say, I went into the weekend thinking and feeling like, okay, both the Usos are not going to have a good showing in the Rumble, and they're going to revert back to a tag team. And boy, oh boy,
was you wrong. Yeah, because I mean, this, like I say, this is a career-defining win. This puts Jey, because think about this. Jey Uso won a Royal Rumble that included Roman Reigns, CM Punk, John Cena, Seth Rollins, and so many other big names. A returning AJ Styles. I mean, just to name a few. It's huge. It's massive. And the way that it ended and it came down to John Cena, just an amazing moment. You can't think of a guy that deserves it more than Jey Uso. And, of course, he's our wrestler of the week here on PW60. His main event, Jey Uso, is going to WrestleMania. Now, that being said, I think going into this Rumble, there was like, okay, we're going to find out a lot of what potentially the WrestleMania card could be. I got to be honest with you, B-Roll. There's still a lot up in the air. We have no idea what's going to happen at WrestleMania other than Jey Uso is going to be in a main event matchup. Now, you would think it would be against Gunther because he's kind of teased it already and stuff. But honestly, I would like to see it be against Cody, and I'll explain why here in a bit. But let's talk about the fallout from the Royal Rumble. And first off, this man right here, it was John Cena's last Royal Rumble. Very interesting press conference from John Cena after the Rumble. Wouldn't you say so, Mr. B-Roll?
Indeed.
Because, I mean, he pretty much made a statement, says, I'm going to be in the... This is a different John Cena. This isn't like something went off on Cena in that Rumble matchup because I think he was, obviously this close to winning it. And now it's like, okay, I've earned this. You're going to put me in the Elimination Chamber, and I'm going to fight my way there to get my shot at WrestleMania. He's got one more shot, and it's at Elimination Chamber. It's going to be, it always is on WWE, the road to WrestleMania, but it's going to be some really compelling television these next couple months on WWE to see what happens. And Cena not scheduled to make another appearance until Elimination Chamber in March in Toronto. Of course, they are hosting Chamber qualifying matches that kick off tonight on Raw. Matter of fact, one of those matches announced earlier today is going to be Sami Zayn against CM Punk, which I feel like this Chamber is going to be loaded with top stars. But a lot of people kind of thinking like, okay, is this Cena kind of coming as like as a heel? Is this a heel turn for Cena? I don't think it's necessarily that, but I think it's an interesting time we live in pro wrestling, because it's like, it's not as big of a like obvious like, okay, this guy's heel, this guy's babyface, this girl's heel, this girl's babyface, whatever. There's a fine line they walk, so it's going to be interesting that John Cena's last year is kind of kicked off this way, and to see where he goes. But he says he is in pursuit. It's best for business for him to be a 17-time world champion. But man, oh man, the fallout from the Rumble, because so much to talk about, especially this right here. Because you had that big show. Well, first of all, let's talk about how Cena comes out, and then Roman and him face off. Then Punk comes out, and it's the second face off. Then Rollins comes out, and it's just like, holy shit, this is crazy. And then to go from that to that crazy stare down moment with Seth and Roman, and then you get Seth and Roman both eliminated by Punk. And then immediately afterwards, Punk gets tossed out. And I can tell you, being there in Lucas Oil, I know you felt it too. It was just chaos. Everybody was on their feet. They just could not believe what they were seeing. I mean, I thought all 70,000 plus of us or whatever were going to go storm the ring and kill Logan Paul. Because with him eliminating Punk, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, then you talk about giving him major heel heat like he didn't have it already. And then this fallout afterwards with Seth just pretty much going nuclear and destroying Roman, getting into it with Punk. What do you think this means for these three going into WrestleMania?
Triple threat. A
lot of people suggest that. I mean, me personally, I'd rather see a one-on-one matchup between Seth and Roman. I think that's where the story is. As great, you know, Punk being involved as well, but I just think that's what we need to see. That's like this generation's Austin Rock, so to speak, in a way, or Cena Orton. You know, it's one of those all-time great rivalries, and it needs to happen at the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania.
Well, I'll tell you this: we'll find out. If all three of these are people or guys are in the Elimination Chamber, which it could happen, I feel like
that's the way they're going, and it would make sense too. You talk about mega stars, like those. You put just those four. I think they'll throw in Drew McIntyre, and I could see a Damian Priest qualifying is my prediction for the men's chamber. But man, so many stories to tell from this fallout. Could be a triple threat between these three. Who knows? But man, oh man, it is so interesting what the fallout from this Royal Rumble with just these three guys. I mean, their paths crossing each other. Who knows what's going to happen at WrestleMania? But I find it interesting, B-Roll. One thing the Royal Rumble did show us, I think, is with what we kind of had a feeling could potentially happen at WrestleMania. It doesn't seem that way. A lot of people thinking Rock's going to be involved, but honestly, The Rock doesn't need to be involved. It's so star-studded to begin with. I mean, it would be a bonus, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think you see Rock at Mania at all, in my opinion. I think they've laid the groundwork, and they're going to do something with this. But all that fallout, that's not all the big things that happened at the Royal Rumble, because I got to tell you, Lucas Oil about exploded. Because we said his name and he appeared. Joe Hendry, the moment we've been waiting for, he made his main roster debut and he was in the Royal Rumble matchup. This was a massive moment for Joe Hendry. And people can argue, Reggie, for example, can argue that, he wasn't there that long and stuff. He didn't need to be. He got the moment. He got the crowd pop. He looked good. He got some stuff in. He got eliminated by Roman Reigns. He had a confrontation with Roman Reigns. The TNA, think about this, the TNA World Champion in the same ring, face-to-face with the biggest name in professional wrestling today, whether you love him or hate him, Roman Reigns. I mean, that was a moment right there in itself. I know you were popping out of your mind when this happened. And you said Joe was going to win the Rumble, but that didn't happen. But that's okay, I think. What did you think of Joe Hendry's appearance and how it went down?
Yeah, so, I mean, I feel like a lot of us expected it in some ways, but it was still so great, and it's just great for him to get that moment. And I mean, really, one of the biggest surprises in this Rumble, for the men's at least, was him showing up. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I think you said it best. Like, when you think about, he stood across the ring with the tribal chief. Like, what the crap? I pictured it this way. This is what sums it up best to me. I think it showed the photo of him and Triple H backstage. It was like, imagine like 3 years ago, you went into a coma, and then you woke up and you got on your phone and you saw Joe Hendry with Triple H. Like, yeah, what the hell?
What is going on? What is life? But I mean, it was a tremendous moment. It was a win-win for everybody. We got that awesome moment in the Rumble that we love to see, and it was great to see Joe Hendry in there. I love too how Sheamus was just in the corner, kind of watching, just enjoying it. Yeah, Joe Hendry at number 15 in the Royal Rumble, chef's kiss as far as I'm concerned. Talk about another chef's kiss. How about the beginning of the Royal Rumble match itself, kicking off with Rey Mysterio and Penta. And man, oh man, like just a passing of the torch kind of moment almost here. Tremendous moment there in the Royal Rumble. Of course, a lot of people, talking the next day, talking at the time. Penta was eliminated.
Penta got eliminated. Penta was eliminated.
You know what?
Was eliminated.
Was he though? Was he? He had a tremendous.
See, if I was the WWE, here's what I would do. I would play into this. We need to get into this like a NFL challenge flag review of like where we're zooming in on the feet and like you see he had this foot like this much off the ground. Not like I would play into it.
Yeah,
I would play into it.
I mean, there's been bigger debacles in the Royal Rumble. I mean, think back to when Batista and Cena go out at the same time. Of course, we were blessed at that time to get Vince McMahon to tear both of his quads. So, too bad if he wasn't involved in this again. Maybe he could run down there and tear his quads again. Reggie would hope for that. But nonetheless, I digress. But it was a tremendous way to start the Rumble match. Now, this moment, honestly, I didn't really give a shit about until Braun Breaker made it. I thought, like, oh, fuck, okay. First of all, when they said Tozawa was coming, I was like, huh? That's weird. But I apologize. Reggie is going crazy. He's marking out because he loves Speed. I don't know who the fuck Speed is. I guess he was the dude in the Prime costume at WrestleMania that got Randy Orton beat his ass or something. I don't know. I don't get it. It's like a different generation, but hey, they got a bunch of feuds and got what they want out of it, and it was awesome seeing him just getting fucking destroyed by Braun Breaker, man. So another highlight.
It really was. It really was.
Yes, but the Royal Rumble, the men's match, was incredible. It was awesome. It lived up to the hype of the main event as being the main event, and then some. Well, my friends, it's that time in the show. Let's go to our good buddy Dad Hat for Dad Hat's Tip of the Week.
It's that time of the week again. Dad Hat's Life Lessons of the Week. Brought to you by World Championship Wreckage. Find them on YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And also by the Wrestle Talk Wolfpack. 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. every Wednesday, twitch.tv/Wrestle Talk Wolfpack. And now, here's Dad Hat.
All right, kids, maybe I was a little hasty last week with my advice. Maybe good things do come to those who wait, and the hard work pays off after a time.
Oh, so wise, Dad Hat. At least he owned it. So, well, we talked about the men's rumble. Let's talk about the women's rumble. Not really a shocker here. Charlotte Flair returned and is the winner of the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble, thus making her the first ever woman to win the Rumble match for a second time. I'm not, like I say, not shocked. It wasn't my, I mean, I understand why it happened. Not my favorite to win it, but the crowd, they didn't really pop crazy for it, but I mean, the crowd was still kind of into it, What did you make? Because I know you're a big Charlotte fan.
I am. I kind of view it as the queen taking her rightful place back on the top of the WWE in some ways. Not gonna lie, I was really hoping for, kind of started pulling for Alexa Bliss a lot, especially with that shocking return. Some people think the Women's Royal Rumble sucked.
I didn't think it did. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I enjoyed. For me personally, and I can only I can only speak for myself. I enjoyed the women's more than the men's, and that's just because I felt like there was more surprises in the women's, but I also understand with the men's why they kept the surprises a little bit to the minimum, because it was so
it's so much
superstar heavy.
Yeah.
The Alexa Bliss thing, and I know we're not there yet.
Let's go ahead. We are. Let's talk about that. It's the moment. To me, it was. I think you would agree with me on this. Out of everything that happened, even Joe Hendry, as great as that was, the loudest pop of the night was when Alexa Bliss came out, because Lucas Oil exploded. I mean, it was mind numbing how loud it got in there. I've been blessed to go to a lot of shows. That's one of the biggest pops I've ever heard in person was Alexa Bliss returning. Because I think the biggest thing was B-roll. Nobody thought it was going to happen. It seemed like she was done with WWE. They pulled this off to a T perfectly, which is so hard to do in this day and age. So kudos to the WWE for that. But yeah, I thought this moment, I love this. I thought it lived up to the hype and then some. I just wish she would have been in there longer, but that's a different story for a different time. But
exactly,
yeah.
Like the kid in the background, I think it's a little girl that's got the phone and everything, hand on her head. I mean, to me that sums it up. They just absolutely nailed this, because everything else kind of had been reported, right?
Yeah.
And then this is something that was reported, but the exact opposite happened, which was awesome. And I agree with you, Dylan. I can't stand Nia Jax either. She has grown on me a little bit, but still don't like it.
Nia coming in at 29 or something like that. But speaking of surprises, we have plenty more of them coming, including the now main roster debut of Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace officially signed with the WWE, as we reported last week. And her first outing was in the Royal Rumble. Thought she looked great. I thought she looked like $1 million. She had some great moments in the match. I'm assuming they're going to probably be putting her on NXT, would be my assumption. But what do you think of Jordynne Grace in the Rumble?
Yeah, I mean, I love the spot with Piper Niven and everything. I mean, they did a lot of like really good uh, spots with her, and yeah, I kind of think she's uh, gonna do maybe like the NXT thing for just a little bit at least, and especially like with kind of like the stories they told in the ring there with her eliminating Jada Parker and then kind of doing her dance and everything. So I mean personally, I'd like to see her on the main roster, but then again, you have to think about how loaded the women's roster is in NXT. It might be
It's going to
better
make
served
for
for
some
her to go down there.
compelling. Well, then you got to think of this way: compelling matchups, like a Jordan Grace against a Stephanie Fakur, or Jordan Grace against a Julia, or Jordan against Roxanne, or Core Jade, and the list just goes on and on and on and
I
on.
I wonder if this was the most the NXT roster was used in a Rumble match. Because you had Stephanie Vaquer, you had Julia, you had
Roxanne,
Roxanne, you had Jada Parker,
Lash
and if
Legend,
if you
yeah,
Lash Legend, if you count
yeah,
Jordan Grace in that's six.
6. So yeah, it's pretty. It was a pretty NXT loaded Rumble. But speaking of surprises, let's talk about Nikki Bella making a return to the Royal Rumble at 30. Now, I think a lot of people not too happy about this. I mean, I don't know. I think the big thing was a lot of people thought Becky Lynch would be coming out at number 30. And I think that's what everybody's upset about. I mean, it's fine. Like I say, she doesn't move the needle for me, but I mean, I respect everything she's done in the past. So, and reality situation is she has been through some difficult times in the past year. So coming back to pro wrestling is a passion of hers to kind of to lift her spirits and make her feel whole again or whatever. Then more power to her, man. I mean, she looks great. So Nikki Bella, we'll have to see what happens from here, but she was a surprise entrant. But we had another surprise too. Trish Stratus was in the Royal Rumble as well. My God, she looks like $1,000,000. Great to see Trish again. Had a great outing and showing in the Royal Rumble. But the other big story really coming out of this Royal Rumble is the performance of Roxanne, as Roxanne ended up breaking Bayley's record of the longest time in the Royal Rumble matchup. I believe she was in there for like an hour and 7 minutes and change. Tremendous performance by her as a runner-up in the Rumble. Didn't see that coming. Here's my thing with her. She's going to the main roster. She will be. She's the next one called up. I mean, I think they're going to do the match. I think at the next NXT show is that triple threat. But after that, I'd say she's done with NXT and will be up on the main roster by WrestleMania. What do you think of Roxanne's performance in the Rumble?
I mean, it was. I loved it, honestly. Her coming out at number 3, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It was since she's gone heel, honestly. Like, I mean, she has taken it to another level. That's the best way I can and describe it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they need to get her up to the main roster as soon as possible. I feel like it's been almost like a year overdue, but I mean, I feel like she's been ready, but they've just kind of needed her in NXT.
Yeah, they needed her in that spot.
But now I think the timing is right for all of it, and just finish it up. I don't think they're doing a draft this year, so just I don't know, find a way to do it and just do it.
Yeah. Well, nonetheless, both Royal Rumbles were full of surprises. Both were incredible in our opinions, and both were amazing matchups. And we were so happy to be there live in person and get to witness it. But we also got to witness a war for the WWE Championship, the Undisputed Championship, as Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes in a ladder match. And this one got pretty brutal there. There was some rough spots in this damn matchup, man. Especially that freaking the brain buster off the rope through the ladder, and then the freaking Alabama slam on the outside. Of course, Cody retaining his WWE championship, and I agree, Dylan. It was cool seeing a TNA champ in the men's match. What do you think of the WWE title match?
Honestly, it over delivered for me. I think it's because I wasn't expecting a lot out of it, which is weird to say when it comes to a ladder match.
Yeah,
but I mean, it was
definitely a different kind of ladder match. It wasn't like the typical ladder match where it's like, let's climb on, do a bunch of crazy stuff off of it. What I liked about it is
brutal.
Let's use the ladder as a weapon and beat the hell out of each other with. This reminded me of like Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels kind of back in the day, where the ladder was like the third person in the matchup. So I loved how there was a lot of psychology with the ladders in this matchup. I don't know about you, but like when the little ladder got popped out, there was a chant in my section for the little ladder. I don't know if that happened in where you were at, but we were totally rooting for the little ladder.
No, that didn't break out in my section. I didn't hear that one, but it was definitely the topic of conversation in my section was the little ladder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, gosh, this match was just so brutal. And then when you throw in Sammy getting involved in the end, like I felt somehow some way Sammy was going to cost Cody in a lot of ways. I thought he was going to snap or something.
I feel like too the story they're telling here is so interesting with Cody because like there's hints of like it's getting more and more like here in the past month, especially the past couple weeks, in this match too. Like that Cody is kind of going to the dark side, so to speak, kind of becoming a heel. But like I said at the top of the show, it's what's fascinating right now with the WWE and the world of wrestling. There's like that fine line. It's not like a traditional heel babyface. It's kind of like tweeners in between. It's like how you define them by their actions that they take. So there's a lot to compact from this WWE Championship matchup. I think we have seen kind of a little end in the chapter, so to speak, for this rivalry between Cody and KO. It's going to be interesting to see where Cody will go from here.
I feel like KO, I don't know that we really know the extent of his injuries, but I think KO is going to be, I feel like he should be out for a while. I think
he comes back in time for WrestleMania, and maybe they put him against a returning Randy Orton or something. Who knows? But I think it's just very interesting with Cody, like I say, that he's supposed to be this white meat babyface, but he hasn't been having actions of a white meat babyface. So, but let's also talk about the 2 out of 3 falls match for the tag team championships. Also on the Rumble, Motor City Machine Guns going against DIY. I know you love your tag team wrestling. What do you think of this 2 out of 3 falls match?
I loved this match. I hated the finish.
Yeah, agreed. I think the finish took a lot out of it. Of course, Street Profits getting involved, costing pretty much Motor City Machine Guns their shot at the tag titles, and DIY does retain. Still was a great matchup. I think the crowd, honestly, we were all still coming down from that women's Rumble, so it's a hard spot to be put in. But I think DIY and Motor City Machine Guns did a hell of a job. I think we're far from over with that. And now you put Street Profits in there. It's good to see some tag team wrestling going again in the WWE because I think that's something that's definitely been lacking. And one thing we did forget to mention earlier, I think we should touch on briefly here before we move on. We did kind of mention it, but the return of AJ Styles in the men's Royal Rumble match, that was a huge moment as well. Happy to see him back in the ring. He looked great. He looked phenomenal. No pun intended. So, but man, oh man, the Royal Rumble was incredible. It was full of tremendous moments. You know, all of our family members here at PW60 have their thoughts on it. But it's that time of the show. Let's go to our good friend Husky Rhodes for Hot Take.
PW60, what's the good word? It is your boy cosplaying as the Big Show in that one photo. Y'all probably know what I'm talking about. Royal Rumble happened Saturday. It was awesome. Awesome. Really no complaints at all about the show. If I did have a hot take for it, I would say surprised of the lack of male NXT representation in the Royal Rumble. I mean, they had enough people in the actual match itself to make it a great Rumble match. Just, I don't know, just genuinely shocked that we didn't see like a Tony D'Angelo or Trick Williams or anybody come into the Royal Rumble for the dudes. I don't know. But other than that, great show. What'd you boys think?
Well, I'll tell you, Husky, we thought it was tremendous and lived up to the hype. And we said Royal Rumble week has begun here on Cole TV. We're going to have vlogs from all the different shows that we went to this past weekend, as well as, of course, this Friday will be our Royal Rumble vlog. And, of course, we got to give you a little sneak peek of that. So here's a sneak peek of what you expect from our Royal Rumble vlog coming this Friday. Well, there you have it. And you can expect that. The tail of the tape is right there, my friend. My reaction, I was just like, I could not believe what I was seeing, man. That was insane. So there you go. Expect that this Friday. And, of course, we've got more vlogs coming to you all this week. But speaking of the Royal Rumble, we kind of mentioned this earlier. There seems to be some injuries. We don't know the serious extent of them, but nonetheless, injuries from this ladder match between Cody and KO. like B-Roll said earlier, he expects KO to be out for a little while. I expect Cody to probably like be off for the next month or so. Like maybe he'll do his appearances and stuff, but I don't think he'll do anything in ring. But man, oh man, that ladder match, that's going to be one we're going to be talking about for years to come. Also, some controversy coming out of the Royal Rumble. Drew McIntyre apparently stormed out of Lucas Oil Stadium after he was eliminated. From what we understand, we've pieced together today, and take this for what it is, because a lot of it's dirt sheet bullshit. But supposedly, Drew was upset at LA Knight because LA Knight had taken away from kind of like his elimination, him and the scuffle he got into with Logan Paul. You know what? Well, look at B-Roll. Fuck yeah, let's put them together. Hell, let's do LA Knight and Drew McIntyre, because rumor has it it's going to be Drew and Damian Priest, because Priest did eliminate him in the Rumble. That match may take place at WrestleMania, but there's also some Drew's made some comments about that supposedly. So I mean, Drew's Drew, man. This is what he does. He's the ultimate at trolling and getting things going. So the thing is, you can put Drew in just about anything. It's going to be money. So I'm intrigued to see where they go from here. How much of this do you think's a work, though, my friend?
So I think it's all the work.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Mostly just because, like, I think back to Survivor Series, Punk's return. There was reports that Drew was pissed then, and that was kind of like the launching point to the Punk and Drew feud and everything. So, but here's the thing. We've said this before. The beauty of this is, I can say it's a work, but I can't with 100% fact say that it's a work. When you can blur the lines of reality and fantasy, that's when it's at its best.
Absolutely. There you go. Well, also coming out of the Royal Rumble this weekend is the records broken in Indianapolis, one of the largest gates for any WWE show. I think Triple H even said like it was the second highest, only next to the WrestleMania last year in Philly. I'm telling you, dude, like the biggest, like we said at the beginning of the show, the biggest takeaway I have from this is Indy is ready for WrestleMania. So you roll out that red carpet. And everybody had a good time, I think, too, here, especially with this show. It was awesome. Saturday was incredible. Like we say, a lot of our family members have thoughts and opinions on Saturday that they want to talk about. And one of them just so happens to be our good buddy, the Best Scout Machine. So here's the Best Scout Machine with his thoughts on this past Saturday night.
Dub City, it is I, the BGM, and Saturday night, whoa, what a night for wrestling. So many surprises. I can't believe what I saw. Like, we saw so many amazing wrestlers. I had the time of my life. We were in the presence of a TNA champion in a different company. Like, what world are we living in? Was that Royal Rumble? No, that was this weekend? I didn't see the Royal Rumble. How was that Circle 6 Double Dose 2 in Los Angeles? Here, let me show you what went down at the better show. Oh! Heavens to Betsy! Nation! You've been cursed! 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 Oh! Oh! Oh no! Oh! Oh no! Oh! The evil gentleman! Oh! 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 Pulverizes change when the atomic drop. Right? I feel you. Now stop it, man. Oh! 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 God damn it, I love her theme song. Woo! Yeah! Back in my soul. Let's go! Yeah! Woo!
Oh, best scout. We love you, buddy. There you see he had some fun there at Circle 6, but Saturday was chopped full of professional wrestling action. But let's get back to things here. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw this past week, as it was the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. Of course, a lot of big moments happening on this one. But I think the moment we got to talk about most of all here is the tag match, the tag title matches. The War Raiders did retain against the Judgment Day, but at what cost? Serious injury to J.D. McDonough. Nasty spot there. Ended up puncturing his lung and breaking some ribs. Like that was a scary spot. What'd you think of that when that happened, B-roll?
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly. I think my first spot, I was kind of like, how does he not have a concussion?
Yeah.
Like also kind of like how the hell is he gonna finish this match? But like
Right.
he freaking did. Like like I mean that alone is like I mean I know adrenaline does crazy things, but like props to him for getting it out and finishing the match.
Testament to J.D. McDonough. We here at PW60 want to wish him well, and hopefully he recovers soon and gets to be back in that ring. Let's talk about Friday Night SmackDown this past week. It was the go-home show going into the Royal Rumble, of course, in our backyard in Gainbridge Fieldhouse, home of the Pacers. But SmackDown was a loaded show. You got to see Chelsea Green against Michin as that rivalry continuing for the U.S. Championship. What about the moment with like Jacob Fatu and Priest? A lot of people talking about that promo, man. Like now you've given Jacob Fatu a mic. Like I'm telling you, I think Husky said it last week, but seriously, Jacob Fatu has all the potential to be a world champion by the end of the year, man. Like he's just that damn good. Like he can do everything. And by the way, we forgot to mention he had a tremendous outing in the Royal Rumble as well. But yeah, Friday Night SmackDown, solid show. But
I would say one more takeaway too. Seeing this slide made me think of it. From the Rumble, Chelsea Green is super over. Super over.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like her moments in the spot. So like where I was at, the carts came by and would bring the wrestlers once they got eliminated. And Chelsea came by and she was in full character, doing the wave and everything. Like, yeah, it was Chelsea Green is so damn good, dude. So damn good. So over. One of the best talents going today. But there was somebody missing from SmackDown and the Royal Rumble match itself that a certain member here at PW60 wasn't really too happy about. That being said, let's go to our Tribal Queen Bree with her Tribal Queen Tidbit of the Week.
Well, hey, hi, hello, everybody. It is your Tribal Queen Bree with your Tribal Queen Tidbit of the Week. Now, my guy, Austin Theory, has been a pretty busy guy lately. Because if you noticed last week on NXT, the split might actually be happening. The turn might actually happen after we've said this for over a year now that it needs to happen. But there's been some seeds planted again that Austin Theory is going to turn on Grayson Waller. And this was at NXT. So let's see how this triple threat works out with Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, and Obafemi. I think it's finally got a good feeling. It's finally going to happen. And one other gripe, Paul Triple H Levesque did not put Austin Theory in the Royal Rumble. He could have replaced number 30, that trash Logan Paul. But that's besides the point. The turn is gonna happen. And that was your Trevor Queen Tidbit of the Week.
I sure hope for Bree's sake that finally happens. Long overdue. Thank you so much, Bree. Well, we're pretty much, I can already tell you, the network has went ahead and they called us up and said, you guys have a lot to talk about the Royal Rumble, so we've been allotted time to go over, so don't you worry. We're going to get to everything tonight here, and here we are almost really technically kind of towards the end of the show, but nonetheless, let's talk AEW. Let's talk about Dynamite this past week. Kind of a so-so show, honestly. Main event, Mercedes Moné retains against Yuka Sakazaki for the TBS Championship. You did get to see Jay White in action. Ricochet going up against AR Fox. Of course, there was the Claudio Castagnoli, Jeff Jarrett matchup where if Jeff won, he gets a shot at Moxley. Of course, Claudio wins. Thank God. Sorry, not sorry. And the night kicked off with Will Ospreay and Brian Cage. I just felt like, I don't know, it felt like they didn't really do anything this week in AEW. Do you think part of it was just like, well, fuck, the Royal Rumble's going on. We know PW6 is going to be covering that a lot. We don't want to take up too much of their time. We'll be back next week. You think that's what Papa Khan was doing? Yeah, I think he was.
I mean, if that was the intentions, I guess. Thank you. I guess I'm going to keep this short and sweet.
Yep.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of
It's got to change, and it just, I don't know what it is.
The status quo. Okay, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. That's what I said. This episode was mid. It was mid at best.
I think that's being generous. So,
yeah.
Well, let's talk about Collision from this past week, which I don't think anybody watched. let's be honest, except for anybody like an AEW diehard. I'm sure Best Scout watched it after he got done with Circle 6. I mean, it's going against the Royal Rumble. What the hell are you going to do? You know? I mean, let's see what happened on here. Samoa Joe and Hook defeated Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. Okay. Beast Mortos was in action. Max Caster challenge. Roosh returned. Like Roosh, but okay. Outrunners against the Learning Tree. Okay. And then, of course, your main event was for the TNT title with well, no, that wasn't your main event. I'm sorry. That was the TNT title was on the line. Daniel Garcia retaining. Your main event was like the FTR against Death Riders in a street fight. I don't know. It's not moving the needle, Papa Con. Sorry. Not a good week for AEW. Not that anything bad happened, but just like nothing really happened of importance, I think.
And I feel like we keep like
this is becoming far too much of a recurring thing.
Yeah.
They're just not really doing anything right now. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It is what it is.
We're not ones to complain.
Yeah. No, we're not. Let's talk about NXT from this past Tuesday night. Loaded show. Julia was in action, teaming up with Bayley to go against Roxanne and Cora Jade. Also, Brie mentioned it. Looks like Obafemi is going to be facing the Waller effect in a 3-way, I guess. We got Trick Williams going up against Wesley. What's going on with Trick? I don't know. Ethan Page in action against Cedric Alexander, and Ethan Page in his devious ways. Yeah, NXT, it wasn't a bad show. I just think anything that happened in wrestling this week was just like going to get swept under the rug because the Royal Rumble is one of the biggest shows of the year. So, speaking of shows from this past week, let's talk about Impact here real quick. TNA Impact, of course, wasn't live this week, but still was on the air this past Thursday. Kicked off with the Nick Nemeth promo. Got to see Cora Jade from NXT was in action. Also got the return of Mustafa Ali in action against the Laredo Kid. EY and Josh Alexander were in action against the Northern Armory. But the best match of the show was without a doubt Ace Austin against Wesley. But folks, don't take our word for it, because guess what? It's that time again for a new segment here on PW60. It's our Stoner Match of the Week with the Ginger Ninja himself, Jaxpo, and he's going to tell you all about that matchup. So let's go to Jaxpo with the Stoner Match of the Week.
Yo, spark it up. Stoner Match of the Week. Well, welcome back. Stoner Match of the Week time. Yes, we know it was Royal Rumble week. The Royal Rumble was amazing. I give it half and half. I'm not a big fan of Charlotte winning. I think Kevin Owens should have won, but we're not here to talk about the Royal Rumble. We're here to talk about the match of the week. And this week, TNA gets the cut. That's right. Ace Austin versus Wesley. First time they've met since 2020 in a singles match. Amazing match. Amazing. These guys, you could tell their chemistry is great together. Some high-flying moves, some technical stuff. There's this one time they're doing this chain of moves at the beginning of the match where Ace Austin's drop kicks are amazing. They do this back and forth. Wes jumps over him, hits the thing, but Wes leans back and kicks Ace Austin. Crazy. As we know, this is the TNA NXT working relationship is amazing. We're going to see matches with stars we never thought we would get. TNA getting a shout out at the Rumble. I believe in Joe Hendry representing TNA. Man, this match is great. It's cool to see Ace Austin still going and still being prominent, even though Chris Bay is injured right now. And I'd like to take the second out to say, Chris Bay, if you see this or anyone, get well soon, man. We're all praying for you and hoping for you. But just hands down, man, the chemistry these guys had together is amazing. They go back and forth. A lot of kicks in this match, which I'm not afraid of. Those two new guys from NXT that Wesley is combined with, their name has slipped my mind right now, come out, help Wesley get the win. That cardiac kick, I love the cardiac kick. Wesley is a standard bearer for any company he's been in. He's agile, he's quick, he's fast. I can't wait to see where this goes. Wesley gets the win. They start attacking Ace Austin. Out comes the Rascals. This is going to be crazy. The 6-man tag match between Wesley and his crew, the Rascals and Ace Austin. I cannot wait for that encounter. Yeah, that's it. It is amazing. I Yet again, another week where it's hard to describe something I really liked. Not saying that there wasn't other matches this week that were just as good. This one was the one that I enjoyed the most watching. It's just the difference of their styles are similar, but there's still a little bit of a difference there. They both, Wesley back on home ground, but representing the NXT brand this time around. The heel work he's doing is amazing. Really good. I hope eventually he gets another title on his shoulders. Maybe, never know. Maybe Wesley will be the first one to be a NXT TNA champion. You know what I mean? Hopefully some X Division gold in his future. Just get it off, Moose. Come on. Yeah, guys, that's it. Don't forget, hit that like, leave us a comment, ring that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. I'll be back next week for another match of the week.
Oh, thank you so much, Jaxpo. We appreciate you, brother. And yeah, he makes a good point, man. You gotta be checking you out some TNA. Good, solid stuff going on. There's just so much wrestling, so little time. And yes, we know we're in overtime here, but thank you so much for staying with us. We got some more stuff to talk about here this week in the world of wrestling. Big news here. Triple H announced as the first candidate into the 2025 WWE Hall of Fame. A little bit of a surprise as both Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker showed up to the town home meeting there to surprise Triple H. I mean, to me, I see people like talk about this like, oh, well, he's already in the Hall of Fame, or oh, he's already, he's running things. Of course, he's going to put himself in. That's complete utter bullshit. Like Triple H is one of those guys. There's very few guys in the business that are not only like first ballot Hall of Famers, but they should have their own wing of the Hall of Fame Hall of Famers, and Triple H is one of those guys. I mean, they called him the cerebral assassin. He dominated for years in the WWE, so it only makes sense that he's going into the Hall of Fame. It's long overdue. What did you think of Triple H being announced, my friend?
Yeah, I think it was very clever. I like how they kind of put out. Well, I don't want to say played it off as a surprise, because I truly do genuinely think it was a surprise.
Yeah.
But honestly, if we could put him in a third time after this, I think we should do that too. Just because that's just what he's done, for the business. I mean, he's looked at practically like the savior of WWE right now. Right?
I mean, by the time it's over, Triple H could go in for this run he's on right now as running the company, Like you could easily argue him as the first 3-time Hall of Famer. But I mean, this is the one nod that he deserves undeniably. I mean, because Triple H is one of the all-time greats, no matter if you love him or hate him. Pop H deserves it. Let him have his moment. Can't wait to hear his Hall of Fame speech. Now, also this week, it was officially revealed the WWE 2K25 cover, or covers, we should say. Of course, Roman Reigns, no shocker there, to be on the main cover. They also have a Dead Man edition with The Undertaker, and I think that had involved some type of a career play with The Undertaker, as well as there's the Bloodline edition, which there's a Bloodline storyline, apparently. You can play throughout the years as the members of the Bloodline. Pretty neat there. I'm not big on game covers or whatever. I completely understand why they went this route. Not shocked. But there's some people out there kind of a little like wondering like what's going on with the OTC being on. It's like, and I just scratched my head and I'm like, really? Why are you even debating this? I mean, it's Roman Reigns. He's the face of WWE. I mean, what more do you need to know? It's not that spicy of a take. But if you do want a spicy take, here's Spicy Guac with a spicy take.
Spicy Guac reminding everybody, when in doubt, shoot on them. Nobody ever expects a single leg pick. Nobody expects to get slapped in the ear and then German suplexed. So when in doubt, shoot on them.
There you go, Spicy. We appreciate you, brother. And also announced this week, Stephanie's Places will be coming in March to ESPN Plus. This is a show hosted by Stephanie McMahon, where she'll be interviewing talents and kind of just doing some fun activities, some on-site stuff. Interesting, because I didn't see this kind of on my list of stuff coming up, but I would definitely watch it. I would definitely sign up for ESPN Plus to check this out. But like I say, it was a little bit of a surprise here. Wasn't expecting that to come out of the WWE this week. Also coming out this week too, WWE Evolve will be premiering on March the 5th on Tubi. Our good friends at Tubi. Of course, we watch all of our movies on Friday night. Movie night off Tubi. We love Tubi. It's going to be cool to see some wrestling on Tubi. But Evolve, which is kind of going to be like the minor leagues for WWE. Essentially, it's kind of cool too because it's taking from Evolve Wrestling and kind of now turning it into this unique product. I'm going to be very intrigued to watch. Especially, I like too that it's on a different platform to watch as well, with it being Tubi. But it's always interesting to see. Yeah,
and it's free.
It's free. That's the best part right there, baby. It's free. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. But it's always fascinating to see like the rise of up and coming talents in pro wrestling and how they come to be. And speaking of which, one of our own PW6 family members is on their journey into the world of professional wrestling. It's our good friend Sienna Chanel. So it's that time of the show. Let's go to our good friend Sienna, kind of with an update on her journey and some recommendations she has for all of you who are interested in getting in the wrestling business.
Welcome back to the Diary of a Wrestling Manager in Trainee. Now, you found your wrestling school. The next step y'all got to do is just preparation. And by that, make sure to start working out before you start going to a wrestling school. Now that you got everything signed up and you got your start date, now the next thing y'all got to do is start working out. Like rather working out at a gym or at home, make sure you stretch out as much as you can, and also make sure to do calisthenics. Calisthenics require you to have like more of your body in motion, push-ups, sit-ups, burpees, whichever, so that way that your body is going to be able to be in prepared, because like when it comes to your first day of going to wrestling school, they're going to have you to do intense cardio right away or even a bumps. Every wrestling school is different though, like per se. Like on my first day, trust me, I learned how to bump right away and learn like the basic step too. And all I can say to y'all is to make sure to stretch as much as you can. I know there's a lot of like workout videos that you could find online that is suit for y'all. Also gyms too, like they have like different like gyms that has like vast amount of machines, and also like with a personal trainer or even classes too though. Like per se for me, I stretch every morning, also like going to the gym, and sometimes I do yoga too, just to be able to prepare for my body, because trust me y'all, you're gonna feel the intense soreness and bruises and everything, but it's going to take it one step at a time. So make sure your body is in full preparation mode. Make sure to eat correctly too. Make sure to follow up with like your nutrition guide, you know, based on your preference and everything. All right, till then, good luck on your journey. You got this, y'all.
And you have this, our friends. Yeah, it's so good to hear from you and get an update on your journey into the world of pro wrestling. Well, GCW Up All Night took place this past Friday in Indianapolis. And of course, I was there for this show. We got a tremendous vlog coming to you this Wednesday from this show, so you're going to be on the lookout for that. But it was an awesome show. Of course, their first show back here in North America since the Hammerstein Ballroom. If you haven't done so, check it out on Triller. It's an awesome show. And tune in later this week to Cole TV for our vlog on Up All Night. Now, also this week, season 6 of Dark Side of the Ring. The episodes were officially announced. Some of the topics, some interesting ones. I know they're doing an episode on Fader. They're doing an episode on the Hell in the Cell. They are doing one, I believe, on Billy Jack Haynes. That's going to be an interesting one. If you know, you know. But Dark Side of the Ring, once again back at it again. It's going to be interesting to see. I know some people aren't into that. They don't like that seeing that side of the wrestling world. But I think it's something of interest, and this needs to be at least kind of discussed to a certain extent. Man, oh man, this is a crazy story coming out this week. Asuka having major concerns about crazy fan interactions. I don't know if she's been having a stalker or somebody get to her, but you hate to hear that because, I mean, Asuka's an amazing person, an amazing talent. I hate to see this. I hope everything is okay for her. And it sounds like WWE is like locking things down to where she can be safe and comfortable when she's out there in the public eye. Also, it came out this week officially. Maria Kanellis is done. Or she's gone from AEW. However, her husband, I should say, is still going to be with AEW, of course, as part of the Undisputed Kingdom. One Mike Kanellis, or Mike Bennett. Yeah, it seems like there's a little bit of bad blood here. Some perhaps stuff from the dirt sheet, kind of being exposed. Speaking of which, it's that time of the show. It's been a long time, my friends, but it is time for a little dirt sheet news. Let's go to Jay, who was live on the scene from Lucas Oil Stadium this past weekend. Let's go to Jay with the dirt sheet news.
Cole TV making me fucking do this, goddamn. Hey, it's your boy Jay, bona fide member of the Dirt Sheet Press, and if you couldn't tell, I got the jacket to match. But here is some things you may have missed going on within WWE this past week. And yes, here I am outside Lucas Oil Stadium, home of Royal Rumble 2025, where we saw the return of Charlotte Flair to win the Royal Rumble, which everybody assumed. But the big surprise was Alexa Bliss. Now that Alexa Bliss is back and she had the Fiend Forever jacket, she must be interacting with the Wyatt Six, correct? No. There are plans for her to have a couple of short segments with the Wyatt Six. But after that, Alexa Bliss will be completely independent of the Wyatt Six, as those aren't the plans for Alexa Bliss moving forward. Nikki Bella and Trish Stratus, the two legends that entered the Women's Royal Rumble match. And my sources tell me they are going to be coming back to wreak havoc on the SmackDown women's locker room, so we need to be looking out for that. Also, we saw Joe Hendry. We all said his name, and he appeared. Number 15 in the Royal Rumble, and by far, the loudest Lucas Oil Stadium got all night is when Joe Hendry appeared. WWE's plans for Joe Hendry at this moment, as WWE and TNA have a working relationship, is that Joe Hendry will be still interacting with the NXT roster as we saw. But WWE does plan a very big match for Joe Hendry while on the European tour, and a pretty good, if not great possibility of him having a match at the Paris pay-per-view at the end of August. We got to see one of the greatest moments in WWE and Royal Rumble history, seeing Rey Mysterio enter at number 1 and Penta number 2. This was a confirmation by WWE to show us they can have a Latin star not interact with Rey Mysterio, even though they started the Rumble with it. Plans for Penta going forward are a big sustained push as they let him stay in the Rumble, even though he was clearly eliminated immediately. But he will not be teaming with or feuding with Rey Mysterio right away, as WWE typically does with their normal Latin superstars. So Penta in for a big push, and this was a sign to say that him and Rey will now stay away from each other, though they started the Rumble. Even though it got a pretty big reaction from the crowd to see them two in the ring, I won't lie, I did get a bit emotional about, like, that was literally the thing I got emotional about all night. But because of that, there's a chance they may change their plans. I hope they won't, but I'm hoping the fans didn't get too loud, didn't get too crazy, causing that to happen. Drew McIntyre. The rumors are he was upset, screaming about the fact that he had to be eliminated by Damian Priest. That Damian Priest had to come in, get his moves in, and then eliminate a big star like Drew McIntyre. But the rumor is, at WrestleMania, we will have a showcase match of the best of Raw versus the best of SmackDown, leading to a match between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. Now we'll see how that builds, as a lot of people thought Drew McIntyre would have been in title contention. But me personally think that's going to happen a little bit later, possibly in the summer when they are back in the United Kingdom. Finally, WWE had main event WrestleMania Jey Uso merch printed and on sale before the end of the Men's Royal Rumble. Now, this was a mistake on the merch department. Yes, the IT department. Yes, but that should show you that Jey Uso winning was definitely not a fluke, as you could have bought his merch before he eliminated John Cena. But those just aren't the facts. Those are the dirty facts. The dirt sheet news. Oh, I can show the back of the jacket. Huh? Can you see it? Can you read it? Can you read it? Yes.
Hello. Yes, it is me, no hat, and yeah, the barber had the opening. You know how you've heard that one before. Yeah, try to slick it up and change it up a little bit. Went back to a new/old look. My wife likes that one because a little story time with Brian. A few years ago when I grew out to the full beard and I kept that, you know, she kind of got used to it, but used to always kept just a goatee. So yeah, almost like Stone Cold Steve Austin, just without the extra charisma or money or talent or skills or things like that. Hi, back again for the random moment of the week, and of course the Royal Rumble 2025 is in the books. And so as we know, main event, Jey Uso, he won the Men's Royal Rumble, and I got to watch the entire event. It was great. Loved the 2 out of 3 falls tag match. I knew that was going to be an amazing match. And of course, Rhodes and Owens delivered. The Women's Rumble was really, really great also. But what are your takeaways from the winners, the losers, things like that? And now we, of course, lead to the Elimination Chamber, and obviously we lead now to the official road to WrestleMania. So out of the Rumble, what do you see as some potential matchups leading to Mania? Are we going to officially get Jey Uso and Gunther again? And this time, Jey Uso, to kind of quote the thing with Cody Rhodes, finishes his story to finally win a world championship. We're going to see very interesting that we didn't get Cena winning, because of course that could lead to Cena versus Cody, but we could still get that through the chamber or some other way. But what about some of the other major players? What are we going to get with Rollins and Punk? Of course, they used that on the Netflix debut instead of Mania, but now you might get a triple threat with Roman, Punk, and Rollins. And by the way, what is that favor that Heyman owes Punk, and how does it play into all this? You know, hey, Triple H, Paul, he's cooking in the kitchen with these storylines and so much more. So what do you think? Do you agree with Jey Uso winning? Do you think somebody else should have won, and why? Comment below and have yourself a great day as we are on the road to WrestleMania.
Oh, thank you so much, Brian. And yes, like he says, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think of, I'm not sure what the hell just happened to B-roll there. He got all smile. There we go. We'll get you big again. Big boy. But yeah, leave us comments. Let us know what you think as far as Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. We loved it personally. Hope you did too. And speaking of love, we also love our wrestling content creators. And this week, our wrestling content creator of the week is none other than Kota's Wrestling. Now, Kota's Wrestling is very interesting to me, because it's a concept that's like, I haven't seen anybody else do, and it like makes sense because we all did it as a kid. He's essentially recreating moments and wrestling his stuffed Elmo doll. That's right. That's right. But it's very entertaining. It's very interesting. Highly recommend you check him out. Across all social media platforms. Kota's Wrestling is our wrestling content creator of the week this week here. on PW60. Now, this week, we're on the road to WrestleMania, and it was announced that WWE will be running shows like SmackDown, NXT Stand and Deliver, and Raw out of the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. So they had a lot of choices. I think a lot of people were hoping somehow for the Sphere, but I don't think aesthetically it's possible, at least yet. But yeah, T-Mobile, it's a huge, massive stadium. It makes sense. It's either going to be that or the MGM Grand. Me personally, I like the MGM better, but hey, it is what it is. So, but nonetheless, that's where you can catch SmackDown, Stand and Deliver, and Raw, as well as I would assume the Hall of Fame, unless they're doing something different with that this year, which hey, they could be. Who knows? So, also,
Hey, maybe the Hall of Fame will be at the Sphere. Maybe.
Ooh,
you never know.
Could be. Now that would be now that they could pull off easily. So. Also, and finally in our story, so this week, Clash in Paris was announced. So it will be taking place Sunday, August 31st. So WWE will be returning to Paris. Of course, they were there last year for Backlash. That crowd was tremendous. Can't wait to see this for this crowd and their reaction. But WWE Clash in Paris will be taking place on Sunday, August the 31st.
That is it's Clash in Paris. Paris.
You know what they voted for? Well, they asked. I saw something where like they were asking the WWE fans or what they should be calling it, and they almost called it No Mercy. This will still be cool nonetheless. I mean, the crowd's going to be amazing. But man, oh man, what a week! What a week here in the world of pro wrestling. So much happening, falling out for Royal Rumble. We are on the road to WrestleMania. Can't wait to see what's going to happen this week. Of course, on Raw, SmackDown, and all the other shows in between. And don't forget to tune in all this week for our Royal Rumble week here on Cold TV with our exclusive vlogs from the shows we went to over the weekend. I'm Xlj the Og, Mr. B-Roll. We'll see you next week on another episode of PW60. Everybody take care. Bye.